Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I really appreciate you all being here today. Mrs. Woods, thank you for continuing to tell your story. Thank you for continuing to honor James, to make sure that we all learn as parents. I have said this quite frequently. As parents, we're all just doing the best we can. And I am grateful to my colleagues on both sides of the aisle who have come together, not as Democrats or Republicans, but as concerned parents and grandparents, knowing that what we're facing right now is just beyond comprehension. As a mom, you work so diligently to keep your children safe. And used to, you would get them home at night and you would lock the doors and you'd be able to kind of exhale. And now the enemy is inside our home. The people who want to do our children harm are in the palm of their hand. And if we can't do this as Congress, what are we here for? We are here to protect the most vulnerable. We are here to protect our greatest asset. And to me, that is the next generation. And so thank you for continuing to raise your voice and ensure that you push this body to do what it needs to. I would love to know from your perspective, Mrs. Woods, in particular, in your written testimony, you said large corporations continue to argue for rights while refusing to actually take responsibility. I think that sums it up. Tell me what you want us to know as we continue to push these various pieces of legislation to the floor. I am a proud co-sponsor of probably every single one of them. And to your point, we're looking for, how do we get something through? I think we heard Ms. Coughlin say the faster we get it done, the more narrowly tailored it is, the greater chance for success. But we know we need sweeping and overarching reform because big tech is always going to care about one thing, and that's their profits. And we know they know what they're doing. I think it was just said in Reuters that big tech has said, Meta said about $16 billion of their actual profits are really directly related to scams and to ads on banned goods. It's insane. So tell me from your perspective what you think we need to do. What are the simple fixes that would ultimately have been able to save your son's life?
Well, one, I definitely think education and for us to pass that education law. I'm really, really big on education. That's
Ms.
how.
Woods, I love that you said that because every school group that I get a chance to talk to, I say, hold on, here's my mom moment. And then we go directly into the things that you're talking about. So education, one.
Education is number one, because the crime will never go away. Even if we set laws, we still have to educate our kids, our community, to make sure that we know when this happens, we can fight against it. But two, I guess I'm coming from a mom in a naive stance. I don't understand why it's so hard to pass laws.
Amen.
Why the money will always be there. We have people wasting money every day on all kinds of things. Why can we not take our children off of the marketing factor, the prey? I just don't understand how hard that is to protect our children. We won't have a world without them.
That's right. And thank you for what you're doing and pursuing the litigation and saying, no, we need age verification. We need we need these guardrails to protect our kids. And the fact that they continue to prey, and that is exactly what social media companies are doing, are preying on our children because they know having our kids on their platform is how they make more money. And they are unwilling to do the right thing and help us ensure that these kids are protected. And it is moms like you, it is people like you that are stepping up and saying, we must do more, that will ultimately force people in this body, force people in the House to actually do the right thing. So thank you. It should be simple, and this is common sense.
Yes.
I would love in my remaining minute here, I'd love, Mrs. Coughlin, for you to tell me, I know Nick Mick works closely with many of the social media companies to address this issue, but you also face challenges. And what are some of the biggest challenges facing Nick Mick, both from technology and actually, the criminality continuing to evolve?
Thank you so much for that question. Both quality and volume are our biggest challenges.
Okay.
It is not enough for a company to make massive reports that are not of good quality that law enforcement
Yeah.
can investigate, nor is it appropriate for companies to look the other way and say, if I don't have actual knowledge of what's going on, I'll make no reports. We need to be have diligent, robust reporting, especially seen in the legislation for the Stop CSAM Act.
Yep.
That would require companies to provide detailed reporting that would make these reports far more actionable. Right now, a company is only required to report 2 fields: the date
Okay.
and time, as well as what type of thing they're reporting. But if they
Okay.
don't provide the valuable information to get that report to the appropriate law enforcement so they can investigate, the report is effectively worthless.
Thank you. And Mr. Chairman, if you'll allow me, Ms. Smoller, do you have anything to add to that? Anything you'd like to make sure that we know or that you see in law?
We could use these statutes. We could use the
Yeah.
additional tools to prosecute these crimes. Our law enforcement agencies could use the resources to have agents being able to spend the time. With regard to sextortion, for example, you now have 2 different types of offenders. You have the traditional offenders seeking sexual content, but now you have financial scammers who used to go after the elderly or romance scams. Now they're targeting our children. And that is a lot for our law enforcement agents to be able to put their arms around and to be able to handle.
Well, I commit to you to working on this, and let's get something done.
I